Good afternoon, everyone. I think that those of you who are here would have waited long enough. And so I have started the meeting. As I indicated before, the meeting is being recorded so that we can share the contents of the meeting with other parents who did not get the chance to join online. So the video will be posted on the school's YouTube channel, States Online. So if parents want to go back and watch what was said or listen to what was said, they can go to the YouTube channel later today to see the video of the meeting. I'm also going to ask that parents go into the chat and type the name of the student and the class that they are in so that we know who are the persons who attended the meeting. If you are not hearing, it probably means that something is wrong with your speaker. So kindly make the adjustments. You should be hearing me now. And of course, you should be seeing me. So if you are not seeing or hearing, please make some adjustments. And as I said, I'm asking that each parent just type the name of the child and the class they are in so that we have a record of the persons who attended. Mrs. Ben Foster, are you here? This is Ben Foster. So let me see. All right, Mrs. We want to start with prayer. I had asked Mrs. Foster, who is a new member of staff, to offer prayer. I don't know if she's online as yet. Who is asking for me to unmute them? Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand if you want me to unmute you. All right, so I'm not seeing Mrs. Foster. So let me just go ahead and start with prayer. So let's pray. Oh, Miss Foster is here, so let me just unmute her. You can go ahead and right now, Miss Foster, you can go ahead now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wherever you are, let us get in the frame of mind for prayer. Let us pray. Most kind and compassionate Father, as we come to you in this fashion online for PTA meeting, as parents and teachers and principals, I want you to guide us through this meeting and let it be of success to us, dear Lord. Lord, I ask you to guide, guard, and protect us, each of us, wherever you are. In your precious name I pray, amen.
Amen. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, and good afternoon again, parents. This is, I'm not even sure what number it is, but we have been having our meetings in this fashion for the last few months, and I must share my appreciation for those parents who have made it their point of duty to ensure that they attend these meetings when they are called. Today, we should be having parents and students from the grade 7 and 8 level, which should amount to just over 600 students. So far, we have a little under 200 persons here, which means that more than half the persons who should be here are not here. So I really want to say thank you to those of you who are here. And I'm going to ask of you that you feel free to ask questions and make comments during the course of the meeting at the appropriate time, so that those who are not here, when we share the recording of the meeting, some of the questions that they may have, you may have raised it and therefore they would have gotten the answers. So thank you very much for being here, and we ask that you'll be willing participants in this meeting. Everyone is muted, so if at any point you need to ask a question, you can simply click on the participants button and then click on the raise hand feature so that I am aware that you want to speak. We want to keep it muted so that we have a quiet background and so that we can have a meeting that has as few interruptions as is possible. It won't be a long meeting today. I'm trying to keep the meeting to an hour. So an hour and 15 minutes at most, just to, first of all, bring you some updates, and secondly, to allow you to ask questions, to get clarifications on any issue that you may have. Let me start with what is now the topical issue. Of course, parents would have been led to believe up to yesterday that we would be reopening school possibly in a physical manner on October 5. The minister announced yesterday afternoon that there will be no physical classes in any school at all come October 5. So as of yesterday afternoon, the position is that schools will reopen on October 5. However, all students are expected to be in classes via the online platform or other medium that does not require them to be physically in this space. So that is the position as of yesterday. But you are also aware that based on what is happening, we are not sure when school will reopen physically, and as such, we have to be prepared for physical classes when the time comes. So we will continue to make those preparations for physical classes in the future, and hopefully in the not too distant future. And we ask the same of you to ensure that you recognize the fact that at some point in time, we will be having physical classes, and therefore we ought to be prepared for that eventuality when it happens. So today, I want to focus my update on our preparations for online classes and what the expectations are of you as parents and the students, as well as of the teachers and us as a school. And I want to start by saying that over the last 2 weeks, over the last 2 weeks, we have been making attempts to make sure the online platform is prepared for you so that there's access for you as students and so that teachers have access to our students. Right now, we're still going through the process of ensuring that all the students are enrolled in their Google Classrooms. And I think that we are still a little bit behind. I am hoping, somebody says they are not hearing. If you are not hearing, I think that the challenge is from your end. So you need to check with your speakers, because I think everybody else is hearing me. All right, so just check with your speaker if you're having a problem. Let me ask, Sophia, can you just raise your hand if you're hearing me? Just raise your hand physically if you're hearing me. Right. And Jeffrey, you're hearing me as well? Right, so I think the persons who are having problems hearing, they should just, close the door. They should just check their speaker settings on their device, because it's not the problem of hearing isn't from this end. Right, so as I said before, so as of now, we are still trying to ensure that all our students are in their Google Classrooms. The teachers, most of the teachers would have sent invitations to students to join the Google Classroom. So every student, I think we already sent out this information, but every single student at States has been assigned an email address. So if you are hearing this for the first time, it means that you are having a challenge. Every student is assigned an email address, and the email address is the student's first name dot last name at stets.edu.jm. So for example, if your name is Keith Wellington, your email address would be stets.edu.jm. I will send out this information again to the different WhatsApp groups, but everybody should have their own email addresses. And the default password is stets123, all lowercase. So the first time you use your email address, you'll have to change the password. I'm giving you the email address and the password because you need to use that to get into Google Classroom. And again, we have sent out the instructions before as to how you get to Google Classrooms, right? Once you get to Google Classroom, if you use the username, the Set's email and password, then you are going to see the invitations from the teachers. If you have not seen the invitation from the teachers, then there are codes. We have also sent out a spreadsheet with all the codes for the different teachers that you can use to put yourself in the classrooms. We are, as I said, we're still going through the process of trying to ensure that every student is in their classroom, but we still have quite a few who are not in their rooms. And we're hoping that by this Friday, all our students will be in their classroom. So if you know that you're having a challenge getting in the classroom, you have a number of options. One, you can call or WhatsApp Mr. Walcott, who is the technical person who is managing the help desk. You can call him or WhatsApp him and tell him what your problem is, and he will walk you through the problem. I see Ms. Patterson is helping me to type some of the information. Mr. Walcott's number is 833-8244. So if you're having a problem, that's one option, to call Mr. Walcott or WhatsApp him, tell him what your issues are, tell him what your issues are, and he will help you. You also have the option of coming onto the campus, coming here and asking us for help. Again, Mr. Walcott or somebody else on campus will help you to set up your Google Classroom and make sure that you're in the classroom. All right, so the first thing is that, well, obviously, if you are not getting this message now or you haven't gotten the message, everybody here is getting the message, but I'm sure that there may be a few persons who will say that they did not get the message. So I'm also asking that those of you who are here, just ask the students to tell their friends that everybody should be in the Google Classroom now. And if they are not in, they need to take action to be in the classrooms, right? And it is important that everybody understands that they have to participate in the online classroom. I know that there are challenges in terms of access, and I will address that shortly. But right now, as I said, what we want is to try and get everybody in the classroom. So the two options, as I said, if you are not yet in, is to reach out to Mr. Walcott. Either via WhatsApp or messaging, or to actually come visit us on campus, come to the office, explain what is happening, and we will ask you to go to the auditorium and we will have persons helping you. So what we have been doing so far is that we have had some persons coming in and they have been sitting in the auditorium using the Wi-Fi, and we have teachers helping them. But we must get everybody on board by this Friday. Now, the other issue that we have, well, once everybody is on board, we're going to be starting our online classes. And what we're going to be doing, we're doing an online timetable for each class. So I know that you would have got your timetables for school already. However, for online classes, we are going to be using a slightly different timetable. So what we're going to do for grades 7 and 8 is that students won't have more than 3 or 4 classes per day. So we are going to timetable you to have 3 one-hour classes, 3 or 4 one-hour classes, starting from 9 in the morning to 5 in the evening, right? So anytime between 9 and 5, and we'll share the timetables with you, hopefully by Friday. And you will know what time of the day you will have classes, but each class will be for 1 hour, and you won't have more than 3 or 4 of those classes for each day. For each subject, you will have, except in maths and English, you will have 1 hour of interactive online classes, meaning that at the time the class is scheduled to be, so let us say the class is from 10 to 11, you must be in your Google Classroom at that time, and your teacher will be there at that time. For all subjects, except in maths and English, where you will have 2 hours of online classes per week. So you have to make the arrangement to be in class as per the timetable. And as I said before, we will share that timetable with you sometime between Friday evening and Monday. So the question now may arise, what if I don't have a device? What if I don't have internet access at home? What we are recommending, of course, we are asking parents to make every effort to provide their children with the resources. But as I said before, I know that there are some persons who may have challenges and you're not able to access the situation. The ministry has said that there should be no face-to-face classes. Right? That's the ministry's policies that I don't necessarily, I'm not in total agreement with, because I think that there are some students who we need to be in contact with, but that is the policy of the ministry, so we'll have to abide by it. However, we are making sure that our campus is fully prepared for online classes. So if there are students who it is easier for them to come onto the campus and to access the internet from the campus, then we are going to allow that. So for example, if you're somewhere where you have no internet access, but your parent can drop you off in the morning for you to come online, then we are willing to do that. If you have no device, and you want to participate in a class, then we are also willing to allow you to come and use one of the devices at school. Also, please be reminded that you can use your phone. So it's not just about tablets or laptop, right? You can also use your phone. Ishmael says that can somebody respond to, Ms. Patterson, can you respond to the persons in the chat who says they are not hearing? Just indicate to them that they need to check their devices because the sound is going through and other parents are hearing. So Ms. Patterson, just type that in the chat for me, please. All right, so let me just pause a moment. A number of hands have been going up. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to allow the persons whose hand are up to ask the questions or make the comment. I'm going to send the okay for you to unmute yourself and then you can talk. So let me start with, let me see whose hand is up first. We just see the hands of those whose hands are up. I'm not seeing. Forrest. All right, I'm not seeing the hands. All right, so all right, go ahead.
Books, Mr. Wellington. When will we get the books then?
All right, books. All right, so by Friday, we will tell you, what arrangements we have in place for the books. Originally, the plan was that the students would keep the books until they come back to school, so that they can use the books to do revision and to follow up on the work that should have been done last year. But bearing in mind that they won't be coming back now on October 5, we will make a separate arrangement and communicate that arrangement to you by the latest early next week. All right. Who is the next person? Let me just say, who else wants to ask a question?
Good afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I would like to find out what medium will they be using to the classes? Will it be on Google Meet? Will it be on Zoom?
All right, just hold on a second. Who's the person talking now?
Jay Hanson.
All right, just give me a second. Let me mute everybody else. All right, so I've muted back everybody. So just the person who was speaking, can you just unmute yourself and go ahead?
Hi, Mr. Wellington. Good afternoon. I wanted to find out what medium will you be using to have the online classes? Will it be Zoom or Google Meet?
Google Meet. It will be Google Meet, so everybody will be in their classrooms and using Google Meet. Right? That will be Google Meet. All right, next person.
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Wellington. Mute you again. Again, I've muted everybody and just asked the person who wants to speak directly to us to unmute themselves. So who's next?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Hutchinson Miller here.
Yes,
You
Mr.
had
Miller.
mentioned the interactive class to be Google Meet.
Yes.
Is the component of the Google Classroom already that we are
Yes.
already on? Okay.
Yes, it's
thanks.
already a part of your Google Classroom. So when the teachers set up the classes for you to go online, I guess you'll get the invitation to just join in Google Meet. But we'll also send out the instructions.
Okay, sir. Did you speak to book rentals though for the grade 7 students?
Right, so for book rentals, as I said, by Monday, early next week, we will give you the instructions as it relates to textbooks. Right, because we had originally planned for it to stay until students come back in on October 5, but bearing in mind now that they won't be coming in, we'll have to make a separate arrangement. All right. Let me just answer a couple questions from the chat. Somebody asked about tablets, purchasing of tablets. The persons with the tablets that we spoke about the last time and you were introduced to, the persons will be here. They will join us in the meeting before we end, and they will speak to whatever questions you have regarding those. But just generally on tablets, I know that there has been some information going around as it relates to tablets for students, tablets and laptops. Let me just quickly state what the situation is. The government will be purchasing laptops for some students, and please note I said some students who are on path, who are in grades 10, 11, 12, or 13. So only some students will get those tablets, and we will be able to, we will get a list of the students who should get. We will communicate that to those students who are in grades 10 to 13. For students who are in grades lower school, I understand that the government will also be making purchases to supply some students. Or I think it would be for students who are on path. They will be buying tablets for some of those students. So please don't expect that all students or parents will be getting tablets or laptops. It is some students who will be provided with those by the government. So you should make every effort to purchase your own if you are able to do so, right? So that is it from that side. If you are having challenges providing your child with a device, and remember again, a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop will do, or of course a PC. If you're having challenges, of course you can speak to us and let us see if there's any way we can find to help you. We have already helped some students. Yesterday we got a company to give us 10 tablets that we gave to students at different grade levels. Can I be excused? Can I be excused just a minute, please? Hello? I'm in the middle of a meeting and I opened the phone so that you could hear that I was talking. Who is it? Right. All right. So right, where was I? Right. So we will try and find persons who are willing to donate tablets to persons. So if you know that you definitely cannot afford it, please reach out to your form teacher, your grade coordinator, the guidance counselor, or one of the VPs, and so we can look at if an opportunity comes for us to help you, we'll be able to help you. All right. Question again. Should students go ahead and purchase additional books? Yes, I think you should, especially the lit books. You should go ahead and purchase it if you are able to, and ensure that they read them. WhatsApp information, can someone help me access that information for 8G? So the person for 8G, if you are not in our WhatsApp group at the grade levels, at the different grade level, 8, 7, or 8 grade, please type your name, the student's name and number in the chat. Type your name and number in the chat so that we can add you to the WhatsApp group. All right, so if you're not currently in a WhatsApp group, type your name or the student's name and number so that we can add you to, and the grade they are in so that we can add them to the group. right, and I remember I just spoke about students who don't have resources. If you don't have resources at home, then obviously we can't stay here and help you at home, right? So what we are asking is that parents made effort to find the resources for them at home. If not, we are also saying that the campus is open and you could come to school and you can use the resources here, but you won't be able to have face-to-face classes because the teachers are not allowed. The government is not allowing teachers to have face-to-face classes, right? But you could come and use the internet facilities that we have here. All right. All right, let me see if there are any more questions. Let me just look. All right, I see Karen Blake, your hand is up still. Karen, did you want to say something? You can go ahead. No?
No, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
All right.
No.
Ishmael Clark. Ishmael, you wanted to say something? Lori. Let me unmute you. Right. All right, nothing from Ishmael. All right, let me ask Forrest. Sorry. Forrest, you wanted to say something? No. Andrina Taylor. Andrina? No. I'm going to Saphonia. Did you want to say something? All right, let me go to Del Perry.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. The question I would like to ask, do you have the lit book at the school selling now for the grade 8?
Yes, I think so. I can confirm shortly, but yes, grade 8. Ms. Patterson, yes. You're in. Do you know if the book is in the bookshop? I should think so. Sorry, I should think so, do I would say yes.
I would love to know, and I would love to know the price also. Thank you.
All right, let me check before we finish and answer that question for you.
Okay, I'll appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, Keisha Cardosa.
Hi, afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Quick question, Mr. Wellington. You mentioned the lit books. Are there additional books separate from those on the book list? Additional literature books, or is just the ones on the book list?
No, just those on the book lists. Anything that we want you to get, it would be on the list that you got.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Thank you, Keisha. Mrs. Holness has her hand up. Let me unmute you. Go ahead and unmute. I think you should be able to unmute yourself, Mrs. Holness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wellington. Good afternoon, parents, guardians, and students. Hope you're all well. Yes, I'll just answer the question about the literature book. Yes, Oliver Twist is there, and the cost is $2,700. Wish for you a safe day, okay?
Thank you, Mrs. Holness. Let me go back again to find out whose hand. Stashan Graham. Stashan, you should be able to unmute now and go ahead. Stashan? All right, not hearing from Stashan. Tracy and Hall. Oh, Stashan, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. 8F, Javante Brown hasn't received his math code as yet for 8F.
8F. Let me
Yes,
find
sir.
out. And you have the spreadsheet? You have the spreadsheet with all the codes?
Yes, sir, but math is not on it as yet.
All right, okay. Mrs. Wallace and Ms. Patterson, can you just check who's the 8F you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mrs. Wallace or
The form teacher is Mrs. Walters is the form teacher for 8F.
maybe she's the maths teacher as well, but I'll check. I'll check and let you know, and we'll post it.
Yeah, she's the math teacher as well. She's the math teacher as well.
All right, so we'll get the code.
But we don't receive the code, right?
All right, we'll get it and get the spreadsheet uploaded so everybody has access to it. Thank you for pointing it out, all right?
Okay, sir, thanks.
All right, who do I go to now? Alcatel Fierce 4. Alcatel Fierce 4, you can unmute and go ahead. Alcatel? Nothing? All right, Marianne, you spoke already, I think. Tracy and I think would have been next. So Tracy and Hall, you can unmute and then speak. Nothing from Tracy Ann. So we go to Marco Dean Jones. John, sorry. Marco Dean Johns. Nothing. All right. And Andreen spoke already. I think Andreen didn't want to speak. So I'm going to lower all the hands of all the persons who had their hands up who have not spoken. Who is that? Go ahead.
It's Tracy Hall here.
Oh,
Good afternoon. Okay, I was having a bit of problem with the audio earlier on, so I missed half of what you said. I was wondering if you could just give me a quick recap as to what I may have missed, as I'm really interested to hear.
All right. So I won't oblige you, but it's not because I don't want to help you. So what we are going to do, what we are doing, we are recording the meeting, Tracy. So everything that is said is recorded, and you can go to the school's YouTube channel, States Online, just search and you'll find the video of the meeting so you can listen to everything for yourself. All right, so probably another about half an hour after the meeting is finished, you can just go ahead and search for States Online, go to YouTube, search States Online, and you'll get the video of the meeting.
Okay, thanks so much.
That's okay with you, and you can tell everybody else who missed the meeting as well.
Yes, I will do that.
All right, good, thanks.
Okay.
All right, so there's a number here, 840-988-53756. That person can go ahead, can unmute and go ahead. I'm in a meeting. If you call me multiple times and don't get me, it means that I can't answer the phone. I'm in a meeting that I'm chairing. Yes? Who is... I'm not hearing you. Young 8, whatever that number is, can you go ahead, please? All right, I'm going to mute you and lower your hand because you don't want to speak. So I will go to Britannia Brooks next. Britannia Brooks, can you unmute and go ahead?
Mr. Wellington.
Yes.
For the students that hasn't paid their school fee as yet, when can they pay their school fee again?
At any time at all. It's you're able to. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. So that's Britannia. All right. I think I've covered Marco Dean. Marco Dean. All right. So nothing from Marco Dean. Sophia, did you want to speak? All right. Not. Sophia, if you want to speak, you can go ahead and unmute.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Good afternoon.
In terms of like notes and stuff, will they be given like notes, written notes?
Yes. So for the online classes, what we will be doing, as I said before, for each subject area, you are going to have, except maths and English, which will have 2 hours. For each subject area, you'll have class once for the week for 1 hour online. So the teacher is going to be there and they'll teach as per normal, whether they're going to use video or they're going to just be chatting or what have you. But during the week, work will be posted online for you to do in your own time. So if it is that each student will have classes for three, maximum 4 hours for the day, it means that in between those classes, students are going to be expected to be doing work on their own. So it may be work where they may have to sit and do it in their book and take a picture and send it, or it may be a practical subject that they may have to go out and find something outside to make something and take a picture and send it or do a video of it, or whatever it is. But the teacher is going to meet with them for 1 hour each week for each subject area. And then during the week, on their own time, students will have to do work on their own. So it's going to be important, parents, that you supervise and make sure that the students are actually doing their work. Many of them will tell you that teacher not in class. And well, let me start by saying, please be reminded that I have a son in grade 7, right? I have a son in grade 7. His father is a principal and his mother is a teacher at the school. And we are having hell to get him to do the work that the teachers are posting online. So I understand that it is not easy, but I also understand that we have responsibilities to make sure that the students are not doing his work. You have about 4 tablets in your house, you have laptop, you have internet, you have everything, but yet still there is work online for him to do for 3-4 days. And he tell him, Mommy, later me do it. You understand? You have to help them manage their time or else nothing is going to be done. And if you bear in mind that where we are now, there is absolutely no way at all that we are going to be able to make up for the last time, right? So don't let them think that they are just going to sit around until school open back, and then when school open back, they're going to work hard and teacher going to have extra class, and we will never be able to make up for all this time that the students are losing. So what we have to do is to make sure that we make use of the time that we have now. This time can't be spent just sitting around and waiting or wasting, right? So as I said, we spoke about the issues that you'll have with connectivity and resources and so on, but we can make attempts to address those problems. The issue of uniforms, whether or not students should wear uniforms, I have not discussed it with the rest of the staff yet. I don't believe that we should necessarily say that the students should wear a uniform, but we are expecting that the students will act responsibly, meaning that the decorum, the behavior, the attitude online is going to be in keeping with what school policies are. So they are going to have to be dressed appropriately. If it means that your child only have marina and no shirt, then tell them to go put on the school shirt and wear it, right? But I am not necessarily for asking the students to get up each morning and put on their uniform, right? As I said, I'm discussing it with the staff. When I discuss it with the staff, if they are able to convince me that the students have not been behaving properly online and we need to dress them up, then I will think about it. But as of now, I am not thinking of allowing the students, of compelling them to wear uniform. Although, if you feel more comfortable with them putting on their uniform in the mornings, then we have no problems with it. All right. I think some more hands have gone up. So let me go back to the hands that went up. By the way, Sophia, were you finished? All right, let me assume that Sophia was finished. And let me start with Dolores. You can unmute and go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I have 3 questions here. Well, I was a little bit late coming into the meeting, and when I come in, I thought I heard you saying that students are there at the days in the auditorium and stuff. Is it that work has been given to these children at school now?
No. I was making the point that we are aware that some persons where they live, there may be absolutely no internet access, or they may not have a device. And therefore, while the government has said that teachers should not be meeting students face to face, we are going to have our campus open so that students who are in those circumstances and where it is safe to do so, and they are able to do so, they can come and sit on the campus. We'll have Wi-Fi all over the campus, so they can actually come and sit and do their online classes if it is safe and better for them than staying home, because we don't want anybody to be missing out. All right, so that was the point I made.
Okay. Okay. Right now, I just heard you said that you your son in grade 7 isn't doing his classwork. Grade 7D isn't getting any work at all.
Grade who?
But grade 7D isn't getting any work at all.
Okay. All right. So where we are now in the process, right? We're not necessarily giving work as in work per se, but we have asked the teacher. And if you said you missed the first part of the meeting, I'm just going to repeat it, although you'll need to go back and watch the video, the YouTube video, so that you get everything. But where we are now is that we are trying to ensure that everybody is in their Google Classroom. So we're not giving them graded work and so on. What we're doing is asking the teachers to interact with them in the classroom, so that they know that the students have access, and they know where the teachers is, and they know how to use it. So we haven't been necessarily giving them work. Remember that the school, according to the ministry, school starts on October 5. But we didn't want to wait until October 5 to have all of this in place. So that is why we have done the Google Classrooms, and we're getting people to come on. So for example, some teachers may ask students to tell them something about themselves, or to draw a picture, or to read something and tell them. So it's really just getting them familiar with the platform. But official classes is really October 5, but we can't wait until to get people on board.
That is understood and appreciated, because you know, some of the students are that quick learning, but in terms of the classrooms as yet. So that is a plus, and we thank you for that. The next question I have is whether or not you will be having lockers or storage places for the gadgets that the children will be taking to school, because I have a brand new PC that I'll be giving my daughter. And I am very unsure as to how she will protect it, because while she was there for the summer school, they were taken onto the field, and they were only allowed to put their bags downstairs on the ground. And I mean, yeah. So is there going to be some security or some lockers that the children will be able to secure their gadgets?
All right, so we never had that plan, but I think that's a good idea, a good suggestion. I will look at what the options are. I will, first of all, under normal circumstances, the students could take it to the dean's office, and they would keep it there. But with the numbers now, where we're going to allow people, almost everybody, to have their devices and so on, we will have to look at that option. So I will look at the option of purchasing lockers, school lockers, so that students can have access to them. So it's a good suggestion, right?
Great. Great. Because I was worried, and I was telling my daughter that if it's even to give her my phone, but I'm not going to allow her to take the laptop to school.
Yeah, it's a good idea. What I can do, because that would apply to like PE, not sure where they're on the field. So I'm going to take your suggestion.
Where they have to leave their bags.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to take your suggestion, and I'm going to say now that once I can get them to buy, we're going to buy them and put them, especially for the PE era, because it's an era where we normally have problems. So we normally have, 45 students in a class. So I'll buy enough lockers so that when the students go to PE class, they can get the key for the locker, put their stuff in, take it back out, and back out the key to the teachers. So thanks for the suggestion, and I'll make sure that it is done.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm going back to the chat room, but just before I do, going back to the hands raised, but some questions in the chat. Ms. Patterson, I'm going to ask when I'm finished for you to read some of the questions and let us answer them. Let me move to Zemar Roden. Zemar, you can unmute and go ahead. Zemar? Zemar is not responding, so I go to Javon. Javon, you can unmute and go ahead. Yeah, go ahead now. Javon, you're unmuted. Javon, we're not hearing you. So I'm going to mute you back and move to somebody else, as I'm not hearing you. Orator Morant, you can go ahead and speak now. You're unmuted, I think. Now you're muted back yourself. So unmute yourself, Orator.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mr. Wellington, happy to know that you're having difficulty with your son, so you know what we parents are going through.
Yes.
When we have to go to work and we can't supervise them until we get home. So I will suggesting that when the teachers give work, they don't ask for them same time. So when we go home, we can assess and see what our students do before they submit the work.
Yes, agreed.
It's a very hard task.
And what we have done too, I think, I'm not sure if it has been done yet, but all the Google Classrooms where the students are in, an invitation should be sent to the students, to the parents, so you can log in and see what your child has to do. So you won't be able to see everybody else's thing, but for your specific child, you'll be able to go in and know what he has to do, he or she has to do.
Okay, that sounds good.
So even from work, you can check on it.
All right. All right. That's a good move.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to come back to the question of book rentals because somebody's asking again, but I'll come back to that in a little bit. I'm going to move to Janelle. Janelle Wilson. Oh, well, hold on. Janelle, before you go, Zemar, you're unmuted now. So Zemar, I don't know if you want to speak.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
October 5th, will they be coming to school?
If they'll be doing what?
They will come to school October 5th.
No, so you were late. You were late. So no, students will not be here. Students will not be here physically on October 5th.
Okay, I understand.
All right, but again, please remember if you were late, just go back over and watch the video so that you, whatever you missed, you would get it, right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good. Let me move to Janelle Wilson. You can go ahead and unmute. Janelle.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're hearing you.
As it relates to some of the apps that the teachers are sending, is not all devices are compatible. So if they can send another suggestion, because I have an Amazon and it's not downloading the app for the phone. If you can send another option, best. Send at least 2 options because not all devices are compatible with these things.
Okay, point taken. And they may be Google apps or Microsoft, Google apps as opposed to iApps. So if you have an iPhone, they may be at this. I'll remind them.
Yes, they yeah. So give them some other options.
I'll do.
Thank you.
All right. We have 255 persons here. No, that's not bad. Who is this now? Samsung S. Samsung SMG9, blah, blah. You can unmute and go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Good afternoon.
When?
You're a little low.
Oh, you're not here?
Yeah, hearing you, man, but it's low. But you sounded a little better a while ago.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you, when can my grandson is in 7G, when can we come and pick up rental books for him? All
right, so I answered that question earlier to say that by Monday, Tuesday, we will make a schedule because originally we had planned to to hand out the books when the students come. But seeing that they are not going to be coming, we'll have to make a different schedule. So by early next week, we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Tasha Nash. Where's Tasha? Tasha gone? Okay, all right. So Ms. Patterson, do you want to read some of the questions that were asked in the chat room? Good afternoon. What's the password for Google Classroom? Somebody's asking what is the password for Google Classroom. Just remember that there are two. I'm going to ask the grade coordinators to send out the instructions again. But remember, everybody has a school email, right? And your school email is your first name dot your last name at stets.edu.jm. Ms. Patterson, can you audio? Right? I think Ms. Patterson typed it in. Right? She typed in the username and password for everybody. You can just type that in again, Ms. Patterson. And we'll send out the instructions again. All right. Let me see if we have other persons waiting for questions. All right. Ms. Patterson, you can unmute and go ahead now.
Yes, sir. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. So
All right, so I have again placed the username and the password in the chat.
Yes.
There was someone who was asking about school fees, so let me just quickly find that back. They said, and somebody's commending the visual arts teacher of 7B who posted an interesting piece of work for the students. All right, Delroy Watson wants to know something about the school fee.
Yes.
Because for children that are on pass, should the school fee money be deducted from it? Because he collected his child report and is still in the balance, and the pass money is still included. So he's wondering if the pass money should not have been, if it shouldn't have been deducted from last year.
Money. Remember, we don't get money from path for them, you know. We don't get money from path for them. So let me just explain again. For students who are on path, right? The government's policy is that we should not ask students who are on path to pay a school fee. However, they don't give monies. The only thing they give for path is the subsidy. They give two things. One, subsidy for lunch. So students who are on path get lunch at least 3 times per week, right? And some students who are on path, there's a transportation allowance that they get to help with transportation. Outside of that, they don't give any extra money for path students. And therefore, I think if you were at PTA meeting, you would have heard us saying that we still expect our path students to contribute. We have almost half our student population on path. And if we don't get the support from them, one out of two things, either we are going to have to double those parents who are not on path to get them to pay so that we can do all the things we need to do, right? And those who are on path get a free ride, or we are going to have to cut in half the things that we want to do and are able to do. So we still expect our path parents to make their contribution. We are not going to say that they must pay. We don't say that anybody at all must pay, right? We expect them to make the contribution because we know, just like what is happening now, those parents who are sending their children to private schools, they get the opportunity to be in school. And because we can't afford to send them to private school, our students going to have to go online and therefore suffer the consequences of not being in class. So similarly, we are saying that not because you're on path, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't make the sacrifice and support the school so that your child gets the quality education that is going to ensure that they and their children don't remain on path. So the answer to the question about removing the thing from the school fee, we expect parents to make that contribution, and we continue to show what contribution you have made or not made. So if you haven't paid it, then it is on it to show that you did not make that contribution. All right, so I think that answers the question.
Another question, will there be any drop-off point for printed classwork?
Will there be any drop-off points for printed classwork? We have not made that arrangement yet. Please remember that students who come to states come from Westmoreland. They travel from as far as Sept, St. James, way up in a place called Niagara in southern St. James, Cambridge in St. James. We have students traveling from Manchester as far as Christiana, and we have students from every corner of St. Elizabeth. So it's a little bit difficult for us to be thinking about that as a solution because we wouldn't be able to do it for everybody, right?
When will grade 7 students collect their personal items?
The personal items, I think that we may have to make arrangement for them to come in at their convenience. So I will also indicate when that is possible. Most of the things are here. So I would say that if not next week, by the week of October 5th, students could come in or parents could come in and collect those items.
During Google class, if the child does not understand the work given, how do you get the actual explanation, being that some students understand better vocally?
How do you get the actual explanation, right? So that is one of the reasons. So the question, let me just repeat the question. If a student is in Google Classroom and does not understand, how do they get the explanation, bearing in mind that some persons understand better than others? So what we have done, as I said, is to limit the number of online classes to a maximum of 4 for the day, right? And for those 4 classes, the teachers are expected to actually teach during live with the students. But throughout the rest of the day, the students should be working on their own. They should be able to reach out to the teacher. The teacher should be able to call a student, converse with one student at a time. And we are also asking the teachers to have WhatsApp groups where they can communicate more freely with the students. Right? So it's a number of things that we are trying to do. I'm sure that we're not going to be able to be perfect, but we are going to be doing as much as we can to help as many persons as we can.
Will students be given any form of test or exam?
Tests and exams will be a part of the online classes. So if we start with what is happening now or during the online classes, you will get online tests. So there are going to be tests that you will have to do online, and the teachers will get back the response immediately. And of course, when you come back to school, of course, you'll be tested on what is done, and there will be exams at the end of the year or at the end of the term. So yes, it is going to be full school where all the things that are normally expected of you in school will be there. And by the way, you're in grade 7 or 8 now. By the time you get to grade 11, your CXC exams will be done online because you have already started. Some students last year and this year did their exams online, meaning they had to go to the computer lab and sit the exams on the computer. So by the time you get to grade 11, all your exams are going to be online.
How will the children have access to the practical classes?
Right, that is a concern that we have as principals. The practicals are going to be an issue, but we will see over the next couple of weeks what sort of arrangements we can have in place. I know for PE, I'm telling the PE teachers that they must do practical online. So PE class, students will have to dress in their shorts and their shirts, and they will be given exercises to do, possibly in front of the cameras. Okay? But for the others, as I said, they may be given activities where they, so for example, for science, they may be asked to do an experiment and video it, or they, for homework, they may be asked to do something and take a video of it and send it. Right? But we will have to find a way.
I don't see anything else right now. Somebody said that somebody's dying with laughter at PE class.
Yes, because guess what? For the PE classes, it's not just because we want them to learn about physical education, but we want to use it as a tool to help them to get rid of some of the stress and some of the tension that we know that would have built up over the last 6 months. So we have to make sure that the PE practicals are done. All right, so I don't even want my teacher them to teach not PE theory during the 1 hour. All right, and that's serious. Right? Mr. Anderson, Mr. Anderson, can you raise your hand?
Hold on, sir. So somebody says many students have short attention span and they are easily distracted. I hope this new method of education at the secondary level will be successful. Even doing a degree online is difficult, and I'm an adult.
That's true. That's true. Fully agreed. And just the discipline to actually go online when you should and do work on your own when you should. It is difficult, and that is why parenting is going to be so important. And as I said before, I know what it feels like, my dear. So it's a hard task. But guess what? We have to get it done. We really have to get it done, right? Marshall Lee, Miss Patterson, can I move on?
Sure, yes, sir.
Marshall Lee Woodhouse Hodges, you can go ahead and unmute. Marshall. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Wellington, as it relates to the RenWeb, when will parents have access?
All right, by hopefully close to October 5. Because we said, now that we have created all the email addresses for the students, because that is what we're going to use to give you the access. So you'll use that as the username, and we'll do the default password so that you can go in and set up your own password. So it won't be long, because now we know that everybody has a username. So it's more than half the job is done.
Okay.
All right.
Another question. Still no word on the second shots for the girls?
No, nothing. I haven't heard anything. I guess everybody's more concerned about the COVID vaccine now.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard anything at all.
I hope it won't affect them in any way that they only got one and not the other one.
What? I'm going to actually ask. I have somebody who works in the Ministry of Health, and so I'm going to ask both the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education, and I'll share the information.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, Nadia Lyons, you can unmute and go ahead. Nadia. All right, Nadia doesn't want to speak, or Nadia, unmute. Can you unmute? Go ahead now, Nadia.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Nadia? I'm not hearing you well. Your connection is poor. You're both Nadia, not hearing you well. So maybe you should just go ahead and type the question in the chat room and Ms. Patterson will read it for you. All right, Nadia? Britannia? Britannia, can you unmute and go ahead?
Yes, sorry, don't hear me.
Sorry? Britannia? Britannia, can you unmute and go ahead? Britannia, you're playing games, man. All right, let me go to Tash. Tash? Britannia, you can go ahead now. Yeah.
When will we be taking our ID pictures?
This is which grade now?
7F.
Grade 7s? Because I think the grade 7s took their ID photos. So it means that you probably missed it. You can come and see Mr. Reed to take it. So if you had missed it, you can come and see Mr. Reed at the computer lab.
Okay, sir.
All right. All right, can Tasha go ahead now? Tasha Nash. Tasha? Tasha,
When
you're
will be
unmuted.
yes, sir. When will we be collecting taking our ID pictures?
I just answered that question. The grade 7s, I think, took already. So if you did not take, you can come by and ask Mr. But you don't need it until school reopens. So when school reopens physically, you can come and take it.
Okay, sir.
All right. Nicola Barnaby. Nicola, you can go ahead and unmute.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Will
afternoon.
the interactive sessions be recorded?
Yes, I think the Google Classroom allows it to be recorded. That should be recorded and the teacher should be able to have that class shared.
All right, thank you. So it will be saved on the platform and accessed. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you.
Forrest, can you unmute and go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
When will the grade 8 students collect their rental books and hand in the ones they have from last year?
All right, so I answered that question about 4 times already to say that we will send out a schedule next week.
Okay, thanks. My internet was giving me problems, so I logged in late.
All right, just reminding you and everybody else that the video will be up on YouTube in another hour. So persons who missed any part of the meeting can just go and get the video, and we'll send around the link to the video in the different year groups as well.
Okay,
Lavine,
thanks.
right, Lavine Gray Brown, go ahead and unmute. Lavine?
Yes, sir.
Can go
The
ahead.
question I have to ask, good evening, everyone, to Mr. Wellington. The question I wanted to ask, the person just asked just before.
Okay.
Before, Region Riley, he's on dorm, but he's all the way up in Trelawney now. So I was asking about the books coming in,
Yes.
the ones that I'm supposed to get.
All right, so we'll inform you, right?
That's the
It's
question
now
I was
15 minutes. It's now 15 minutes after 3. I don't want to go beyond 3:30, so which means we'd have 15 minutes left. We have the gentleman from the company with the tablets. He's going to make a presentation shortly. So I'm going to go back to him shortly, but let me just finish with the persons who now have their hands up. So I will go to Shanika Hansen. Can you unmute and go ahead?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
You can just send me the form teacher for 7D, please, and thanks. And how many subjects for grade 7?
How many subjects they will be doing? I think it's about 15 or 16. Sorry, I think it's 14, but for maths and English, they'll have classes twice per week. Right? Form teacher for 7D, Miss Mattison.
Twice per week. Okay, twice per week. And it's about 15 or 16. And the form teacher, sir, please.
Yeah, I'll tell you shortly. I'm trying to find the paper with it. Or Miss Mattison can help me. Have it there?
Oh, okay.
Miss Mattison, oh, I have it. 7D.
Who?
7D is Miss Marshall.
Yeah, 7D.
7D is Miss Marshall.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Dada. All right, next. 84098, that person with that long number, 84098853756. You can go ahead and unmute now. Go ahead and unmute. You're unmuted, so go ahead. The first, all right, so that person doesn't want to speak. So let me just lower their hand. Yvonne.
You say you're mute. Not true. They not hear you.
The person who says mute is not muted. Do you want to speak?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, my son bought the wrong literature book. Well, I am the person who bought it. What should I do with it? I spoke to you already. This is Miss Hassan, Kalim Edwards' mother. Yes, and you spoke to me that I could bring it in and
get it exchanged at the bookstore because it was my fault that I bought the
Yeah, man. So it's the
picture
same.
book.
So it's the same thing. I gave you the instructions already, so that still stands.
Okay, so I can bring it in at any time?
Anytime during the week, yes. Between 9 and 3.
Okay then, sir. Thank you.
All right, good. Javon, do you want to speak? If you want to have unmuted you can go ahead. That's Javon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Good afternoon, sir.
I came down the 9th of August and I was quarantined for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I just went to school the 2 days.
Yes.
But I didn't make any online class or nothing or Google account.
Okay.
Because no teacher or no one told me to do it. And I hear kids talking about it, sir, but the teacher never informed me.
All right, so Javon, just type in the chat, go to the chat, type your name, your full name, and a telephone number, and Mrs. Alexander will call you after.
Yes, sir.
All right, so just type your full name, and if you know which class you have been placed in, and your telephone number, then Mrs. Alexander will call you.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Who else do we have? All right, so Galaxy 7, Sky Pro, and then Ms. Patterson, and then we go to Mr. Anderson, who will make a presentation with tablets. So or Galaxy went. So Jamie, you can go ahead and speak. Jamie, go on too, so no one talk. Z982. Z982, you can unmute yourself and speak. Doesn't want to speak, so let me go to Ms. Patterson. Ms. Patterson? Ms.
Yes,
Patterson?
sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so someone is asking if it is that when the students come to pick up their book rental, whenever that is, if the PE gear will be available as well.
Yes, I think the PE gear is available.
And someone wants contact information for the guidance counselor.
Contact information for the guidance counselor. He has a direct line. Let me find. I don't remember it offhand. Let me find out and let you know.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So let us take a break from the questions. Mr. Anderson, can you just raise your hand so and see where I can find you and unmute your mic so that you can go ahead with your presentation. So Mr. Anderson from Geotech, just raise your hand for me, please. I'm not seeing Mr. Anderson. Is he still here? Somebody asked who's 8G's form teacher. 8G is Miss Matthews. I think the maths teacher, Miss Matthews. All right, Mr. Anderson, I'm not seeing or hear Mr. Anderson. Oh yes, Geotech Vision. All right, so you can now unmute. Go ahead, Geotech.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Wellington.
Good afternoon.
So I'm just going to, since I have limited time, just introduce myself, and I'm going to introduce two products that we have today. The main one, you're already aware of, the tablet, and a secondary device. We actually, at Geotech Vision, we have a suite of educational tools, but time does not permit today, so I can't tell you about all of them.
You can go a little bit beyond the 5 minutes if it's interesting. I'll tell you if we're bored.
Okay, please let me know. All right, so the first thing, the tablet, let's start with that. So I'm not sure of how many of you have actually gotten to see the tablet, but it's a very nice 10.1-inch tablet. It comes equipped with this very rugged rubber case, offers a lot of protection, and it has a strap at the back for one-handed use. And it also has a kickstand. So this is for, you know, when you want to view free with your hands free. So in addition to the tablet already being very rugged, the case is just a bonus to make it even ruggeder. So let me tell you a little bit about the specifications of the tablet. So I already told you that it's a 10.1 inch tablet. This has a 1.9 gigahertz octa-core processor. So that's an 8-core processor. It comes equipped with 64 gigabytes of storage, upgradable. You can use a micro SD card to upgrade that to about 256 gigs. Can support an SD card that big. Comes with 4 gig RAM, and you get a really great 8 to 12 hour battery lifetime. And also it comes equipped with Android 9. And also comes with a very nice Type-C port. Something that always happens with auto devices is the charging port tends to go bad quickly because persons may put it in anyway and damage the connector pins. But with a Type-C port, you put it in, you know, there's no wrong way to put it in. So generally lasts a bit longer. I can tell you about the durability of the tablet. Cumberland High received some tablets from us for an earlier project back in about 2014, and going on some 6 years later, they actually still have the tablets, the tablets that we gave them at that time. They're still in use today. Now I can share with you the Ministry of Education specifications, their minimum requirements for tablet devices. The Ministry of Education requires that tablets have a 1.6 gigahertz processor that's on a quad-core processor, so that's on a 4-core processor. They require 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gig storage, and about an 8-hour battery life. Now, let me just run through our specs again just to give you a quick comparison. So we're giving you 1.9 gigahertz on an octa-core, so that's four more cores. Sorry, I heard somebody talking. So as I said, they give you they require 3 gigs of RAM, we're giving you 4. They require 32 gig storage, we're giving you 64. There's a minimum 8-hour, they're asking for at least 8-hour battery life. With our device, you're getting up to 12-hour battery life and a 6-month warranty. So the warranty covers manufacturer defaults, factory faults, and factory defects. And just to top it off, let me tell you a little bit about how our tablet actually compares to other leading brands like the Samsung. Let me use a device that maybe a lot of you will be familiar with, the Samsung Galaxy Tab A, the 10-inch version. Now, just to give you a quick rundown on the specs of that tablet and the cost. That device costs about $230 US. And if you were to import it into the island right now and pay all the shipping duties, you'll end up paying about over $35,000 for that device. And our tablet actually exceeds all the specifications for the Samsung Galaxy Tab A by at least 2 times. So the Samsung Galaxy Tab A comes with 2 gigs of RAM, you're getting 4 with ours. It comes with 32 gig storage, you're getting 64 with ours. It comes with a 1.8 gigahertz processor and an octa-core, and you're getting 1.9 on a quad. Sorry, that's a quad core, I should have said. And you're getting 1.9 on a quad core with our device. And every single specification category or tablet actually exceeds the Samsung Galaxy Tab A by at least 2 times. And another thing that I personally think to be a really, there are 2 things that I think are really great advantages. One is the after-sale service. Because we're a local-based company, And our repair center is located right here in Kingston, Jamaica. We're able to repair the tablets a lot quicker. So if you have a damaged tablet, you're looking at a 3-day turnaround time for repairs. And also, the cost of repairs is significantly lower than other major brands like the Samsung or Apple. The reasons for that is that Samsung in particular uses really high quality OLED screens. Though they're really high resolution and high quality, they also cost a lot. So that $35,000 device, if you break the screen, you're going to be spending nearly the entire cost of the device just to replace the screen. That's not the case with our devices. You'll be paying a fraction of the cost. So I know other persons tend to ask you, so you'll be paying around say $10,000 to get the screen and have it replaced, as opposed to paying $20,000 or $25,000 in the event of some sort of break. And also, the other thing, we actually have a large quantity of tablets that we're able to supply right now. And our tablets are going right now for $30,000. So we're offering a special discount right now throughout the month of September and October. And we're able to provide them in large quantities right now. So I'd really suggest anybody who's interested, yes, $30,000. I'll suggest anybody who's interested, they can contact us and we can get them a device right away. And the other device I wanted to briefly mention was we're actually selling with the devices a separate MiFi device for $5,000. So that's a very small box. And what it does is it is basically a router that you use your SIM with. So for persons who live in areas where they don't have internet, where they don't have access to internet and they don't have Wi-Fi, this is a really great add-on. What you can do is you can put a data plan on and you put your SIM in it, and up to 10 persons can connect to that device at one time. So again, for persons who have limited or no internet access, especially when you have multiple children and you need all of them to be on the internet, that's a really great workaround. And it works well. It's a router, so you can connect your Android, your iOS, your Windows device, so you can connect your phone, your tablet, basically any device that uses Wi-Fi to it once you put the data plan on and activate the device. So I think,
Mr. Anderson,
yes, Mr. Wellington.
How good it is in terms of picking up internet at locations where internet service may not be so good?
It's not internet, it's data. So it works. Yeah, just like a phone, you use your SIM. So you stick your SIM in it, and you put a data plan on your SIM on the SIM card. So it's just picking up data and rebroadcasting it as Wi-Fi.
So data from any one of the thing you're...
Yes, from any one of the major carriers that you use.
Okay. So all right. So and you're saying that it will work in most areas?
Yes, as long as you can pick up data in that area to work.
Meaning that you have to be able to pick up digital or flow?
Yes, you have to be able to pick up digital or flow.
Oh, okay.
So that's the caveat. Since Mr. Wellington said do I have any more time, Mr. Wellington?
I can give you, it's 3:30, we wanted to finish at 3:30, so I'll give you a minute more.
All right,
and
so
then we'll ask parents to ask questions if they want to about.
Okay, that's great. The last thing I want to mention is software that we have. It's a really great, it's called Radix MDM. It's a really great Zoom alternative. What it does is essentially create a virtual classroom. So the students are in the classroom. The teachers, once the students connect to the teachers' classrooms, the teachers will, I should mention, this is more for the teachers.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're wasting your minute.
It's more for the teachers, but I just want to mention it because it really allows you to do some great things. The teachers can monitor the students'
I'll invite you to the staff meeting for that discussion.
Okay, no problem.
All right,
so let me end it there.
Did you give them your contact number?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat.
All right, so just tell us what it is because some person not going to go there. So tell us, you can put it in the chat, but tell us as well that so persons who want to write it down can write it down.
No problem. I'm going to give you the number of David. He is our sales representative there, so he will assist you guys with anything you need. All right, so ready for his number? His number, the first one, 793, well, that's 876-793-1101. Other number that you can reach him on, 876-522-9989. So that's again, 876-522-9989. So,
all right, remember, type it in the chat still, right?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
All
So
right,
if there are any questions?
Did you say anything about payment plans?
No, I didn't say anything about payment plans. So what we can facilitate is a sort of layaway payment plan where you can pay in parts. That will be facilitated by Mr. David Rowe, who I think you've been in contact with Mr. Wellington.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think they would actually get the device until after the payment is fully made. Or another alternative is for the school. If the school wants to take on this responsibility, the school can make the purchase, and the student and the schools can work with the parents, so the parents pay them in parts until they finish the payment.
And this is something that we are willing to consider. As a school, we are willing to consider it. So if parents are interested and want to work out something with us, because the tablets are really, really good and durable. These are not ordinary tablets that may, after a year or two, it becomes obsolete. The quality of the tablet is good enough for it to last the student for the 5 years they are here. So if you are interested, you can call the numbers that are given, and you can also come in and discuss with it. How is it that we can help you to procure one? All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anderson. I think we have been going for an hour and a half, and I don't like long meetings. And there are two persons who have their hands up. All right. So thank you very much. I'll see you this afternoon. All right.
Thank you again, Mr. Rowe.
All right. So
Mr. Wellington.
All right. Nikki Parchment had her hand up. You can go ahead and unmute if you still want to say something. Nikki, change your mind.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
But I'd like to know what's the cost for the tablet.
So the current cost for the tablet is $30,000.
$30,000.
Yes.
Does it come with a case?
Yes, it does come with a case.
The one that was shown in the picture?
Yeah, yes. So this case, it comes in blue, sky blue, green, peach, gray, and purple.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
No problem.
Marianne, you can unmute and go ahead.
Okay, do you sell laptops as well, Mr. Geo Tech?
Yes, we sell laptops. The only caveat with the laptops is that we don't have the supply right now. So if you were to order laptops, there'll be a wait time of
2 months.
I think not 2 months, not that long, about 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, but we have the tablets ready to go right now.
All right, thank you. Latoya Powell, unmute and go ahead. Latoya, you can unmute unless you have changed your mind. So we move to Ms. Patterson.
Yes, someone would like to know where Geotech is located.
We're located at 44 Copper Drive, Kingston 20. So that's right on 44 Copper Drive, COWPER, Copper Drive, Kingston 20. That's right on right at the cross section of Mullines and the Boulevard.
Mullines and Boulevard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you type that in the chat as well, please?
No problem.
Thank you. And someone would like to know how much RAM it
please?
4 gig RAM.
Thank you.
All right. Dana Davis, you can unmute and go ahead. Go ahead, Dana. Dana, you have water in the line. Dana?
Hear me, sir? Good afternoon,
Yes.
everyone.
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Question is to the gentleman there for the tablets. The question I want to ask is, in terms of the heating, does it get hot easily? Because I know some tablets, especially if you have them plugged in, it's very hot.
Well, from my experience, that hasn't been the case with the one that I have. The one I showed you is one that I use for my own personal use. I don't think I've never seen it get hot, not excessively.
All right. I think that answers the question. Andrina Taylor, can go ahead now. Andrina, you can go ahead. Andrina is unmuted, but we're not hearing you. So let me mute you back, since Andrina doesn't want to talk. And I'll ask Latoya. Latoya, you can unmute and go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The students that are going to return from grade 7 to grade 8, with their old ID, they're supposed to take a new ID?
No, same ID they used from last year. If they have lost it, they have to pay to get it replaced.
Okay, thank you.
Or if they weren't, or if last year if they are prettier than they were last year, and so they want a next one, they can pay for it as well. So if they think they have grown prettier, they can go and pay and get a new one. All right. Tasha. Tasha Nash, you can unmute and go ahead.
How much for the portable internet box?
That's $5,000.
And how can I get it?
Okay, well, the boxes and the tablets. Right now, you can liaison with Mr. David Rowe. He is
for the same numbers.
Yes. So
the same numbers that
are posted. Call the number.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let me go to Charles Moore Green. Charles Moore. I don't think you have a microphone up. Coming to you, Miss Patterson. Charles Moore. Delores, you can unmute and go ahead. Delores.
Yes, you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, do we get the ID, the books, and the PE gears the same day?
The IDs, I'm not sure if the IDs will be finished when they come. Depends on the, we can do, what I'll do is to just set a schedule where everything can be done one day. So yes.
Okay, thanks.
Leonie Fenton, can go ahead and unmute. Yes. Or you mute back yourself, Leonie. Go ahead and unmute again.
Good afternoon. My internet was out just now. I didn't see the numbers for the tablets.
Can you just look in the chat? Just go to the chat and look for it.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Ms. Patterson?
I'd like to know if the MiFi device can be purchased without the tablets.
I don't know if you heard, but yes, yes, it does. It is an independent tablet, so you can use it on any device, not just your tablet.
No, I want to know if I can purchase just the MiFi device. I don't want a tablet, but I want the device. I can purchase the MiFi device.
Yes,
not
ma'am.
a couple
Yes.
in. Okay.
No.
Somebody said that you have a deal going on and they want to know what that deal is.
Well, right now that deal is the discount is the discounted price that we're
30,000 is the
offering.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Patterson, is there any other question? I think we want to wrap up now.
No, that's it. Oh, somebody
right.
says ask if there's a warranty on the tablet.
Yes, a 6-month warranty.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Parents, students who are on, thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Rowe. I really appreciate you being here. I think we have had a very fruitful meeting, and I'm sure that those who are not here, they will benefit from the conversation we had, as I will be sharing with others. So thank you very much. And over the next 2 weeks or so, we'll have another meeting just to assess where we are with the online classes and making sure that everybody is comfortable with what we are doing. So thank you very much, parents. I really appreciate you being here. All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Patterson, for your able assistance. Will you be doing duties at 6 as well?
I'll try, sir.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, parents. Have a good afternoon.
Sir, remember
Yes.
the number for the guidance counselor?
Or the guidance counselor. All right, just let us hang on a second. Let me get it. All right, for the guidance counselor, you can try 966-9803. That's the office number. I don't have her cell number right now, but you can try 966-9803 during the days. All right. I will circulate the cell number in the WhatsApp group. All right. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.